Hey everybody, it's Review Revolution, back at you again with the next in the Tron Legacy figures. And we've got the larger 7-inch deluxe figures done, but of course Spin Master is also doing the Disney Series 1 Tron regular figures, like 3-inch figures, maybe 4 inches. Just like the deluxe figures, these smaller scale seem to be just a bit larger than what you get on some of the Hasbro stuff, like G.I. Joe and Marvel. So, yeah, we'll see how he actually measures up. But yeah, I think Spin Master, just like with the deluxe figures, they're doing this. They did the smaller scale figures slightly larger than what you get with some 3.5 inch or 3 1/4 inch, just so they kind of stand out and stand alone. Blah. Still typical packaging. Won't go over the packaging a whole lot because it's the same style as the deluxe packaging. Again, got the Tron logo, Tron Legacy logo up here. Got the same kind of explosion of color from the background, going from the white to the green into the blue. On the back shows the other figures, Sam Flynn, who we're starting with. And actually, let me make a point of pointing out on the Sam Flynn here on the back. On his hands, it looks like the hands are painted, just like they were supposed to be. As a matter of fact, you can see even better here on the larger one. His hands seem to be painted, and the helmet mask he has a blue tint to it. So, prototype version, probably going to be much better than the one that went into production. But Sam Flynn, Clue, Rensler, the Black Guard, same figures that were in the deluxe version, but Kevin Flynn and Clue Sentry kind of only made for the smaller scale. So we'll have to take a look. We'll take a look at them as we go. But yeah, Sam Flynn, mid-20s and the son of Kevin Flynn. He's smart, confident, and charismatic. As well, this is the same read-up he had before. Fearless as the adventure spirit makes him unafraid to take risks. Eventually escapes and reconnects with his long-lost father. Same thing that the deluxe version said. Nothing different on the bio here. Contains Sam Flynn, check. One base, check. Which is actually kind of cool. I wish the larger figures would have had bases. One identity disc, see how well he holds it. One baton, what's the point? And one user guide. There you go. But again, that's just a kind of a look at the packaging on the smaller scale figures. We'll take a moment, pop open Sam, and have some fun. So be right back. Alright everybody, thanks for sticking around. We've got Sam out of his pack, and it's interesting. To start with, I want to start with the face. I know I usually start with the good stuff first, but I want to start with the face real quick. As it showed on the back of the card, the painted fingers and the blue translucent mask is how Sam apparently was originally prototyped as, and instead he got this just regular clear fishbowl that goes over his face. Even if it was a kind of a smoky gray color, more like the way that these helmets are depicted in the movie, this big bubble of a mask he's got is really distracting. It's really bad. You can see for yourself. I mean, it kind of distorts the face itself. And there's this line that kind of cuts across beneath his nose and his mouth that, I don't know, I'm sure Spin Master was not exactly pleased with the way this ultimately turned out. The good news is that it is just on a peg, and I actually just kind of worked in the, something to pry it off with. It's not glued down, it's not sculpted down, so, you can go ahead and put it on there and peg it in, or you can go ahead and take it out. Really, when you take it off, you can tell that the face underneath is not depicting anybody, really. I mean, it's not like a movie accurate depiction of the character, but between the choice of the generic face or kind of this bubbled helmet, yeah, I guess it'll be up to you. For now, I'm just taking the mask off. And actually underneath, you can even see where, there is some additional sculpting on the head. that you may not be able to appreciate while the helmet was on. It's got the big old open hole there. But yeah, I mean, there are pluses and minuses on both sides. Again, I think that the mask was done so badly that taking it off is definitely a kinder way to display him. In the style of figure, not bad at all. Not bad. The biggest problem I have with the way the figure actually looks is that here on the legs, and then in certain parts of the arms, just here and there, there's a little bit of overpaint that takes place. It's not quite as clean as we got from the larger scale figures, and that's understandable. I mean, it's something where smaller scale is harder to work with, but not bad. I like the colors on it. I'll wait until we're almost done to show the gimmick. I won't do his lights just yet. On his articulation, this kind of burns me up a bit, because on his articulation, being that this is like a 3 1/4 in scale, I matched him up to like my Iron Man and so forth. He's actually just about the right size to fit with your Joes or whatever. He does have a ball jointed head. I popped it off to get the mask off, but his neck seems kind of short. So even though it does twist, and you get kind of a side to side motion, not really an up and down. But you can get kind of a side-to-side if you want it, and it certainly twists. That's one thing that on a smaller scale, I'm really surprised they couldn't, scale it up for the larger deluxe figures. That kind of burns me up. The arms, even with the larger deluxe figure arms, the articulation of the arms for either of the sets of figures are still pretty good. Arm comes up, out, twist to the shoulder, twist here at the bicep, elbow, twist here at the forearm, and on the wrist. So articulation on the arms for the smaller scale figures, same as the deluxe. Smaller scale figures get an extra plus for the ball jointed head. The legs. The legs on the deluxe figures, as you recall, pretty bad. Didn't have a lot of range on them. Not so here. Leg comes out fine. Comes out. Out again. So, I guess up and out. Got a twist at the thigh. Twist at the knee with a bend. Good bend. It does feel as though it's a little delicate. So when I bend the knee, it seems like the pin inside wants to bend with it. So be kind of careful with that. And then a twist to the foot. So smaller scale figures get an extra plus on the ball jointed head and the joint there at the thigh. Much, much nicer than it is for the deluxe figures. Which, it shouldn't be that way. It really shouldn't be that way. This kind of articulation could easily have been applied to those larger figures and made them awesome. No articulation in the torso, no twist, nothing like that, no upper torso kind of pivot or anything. It's all fixed, and that is for his gimmick, which I'll go ahead and show you now. Press the little button on his back here, and he lights up a really nice blue. As a matter of fact, that blue, that looks a lot more impressive on camera than it does in person. If you've got this figure and you're looking at this, yeah, you probably would agree. It's not quite as impressive in person as it is what you're seeing on camera here. But yeah, on the back he just has the button, and it almost looks like he has a disc on here. He's actually wearing his disc. He does come with one, and as anyone who's reviewed the figures already has pointed out, it goes right over that button. It'll go right on top of it, but it doesn't actually hold on to anything. So, missed opportunity there. His disc just looks like a little Cheerio with the black Cheerio with the blue lines on it. He does come with his baton, which this was held in place with like a rubber band. So, stand there for a minute. So, the baton is kind of twisted pretty bad. You know, I didn't really understand the batons much for the deluxe figures anyway. I mean, I know what they're for, but nah, you know, no major loss to me. Sam also comes with the base, as all the smaller figures do. And it's actually kind of cool. It's got kind of the Tron pattern on it with his appropriate color. Actually comes with 2 pegs. So actually, you can probably pose him standing just straight up and down. Use both pegs. Or if you want to get into something a little more dynamic, you can go ahead and maybe just use 1 peg and then, you know, put him into some other kind of pose, maybe into a disc fight or something like that. But his disc does fit better into his hand than it does for the deluxe figure. So really, you know, save the fact that, you know, he has this rather generic face that's better or worse without the mask. You have to decide for yourself. I think the smaller inch figures certainly more impressive than the larger scale ones. Really kind of excited to see how like the Black Guard turns out, Rensler, and the others. But for the most part, yeah, that's a look at the smaller scale Tron Legacy smaller scale Tron Legacy Sam Flynn. Hope you enjoyed it. Rate, comment, subscribe, join the revolution. We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.